Test, 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 test. Test your voice, Dave.
Hello.
Perfect. Okay. That's all we needed. Good to go. All right. You ready, man?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure.
So
let's have some fun.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and begin. Yeah. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dodgeball Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to interview the man himself, Dave Benedetto. Man, thanks for hopping on at such quick notice and for accepting my delays. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm 45. There's quick notice is me taking advantage of anybody who's willing to talk to a 45-year-old.
Oh, like I said, dude, I could not wait. It's one of those things.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, I'll get to it, and then here I am. So let's just start with, I wanted to kind of just mention your history, but let's see, you're the animal. You are the founder of FSU Dodgeball, right?
Yeah, I was also in recorded history during the Sumerian times. If you look at the Sanskrit there in the cuneiform, they actually captured me taking out the first stegosaurus with the dodgeball.
Nice.
So I've been around.
Yeah, you've been around for quite some time, and we were talking about it the other day when I was watching my the Alliance of American Football, talking about the crazy teams, and some of that segued into playing with you on the Texas Shade back in 2007. So I mean, God, there's a lot that we can dive into. But I guess let's just start. Okay, you mentioned your dodgeball history of slaying a stegosaurus, but what brought you into dodgeball? Like, how did that start?
It started 20 years ago. That was back in 2000. God, I was about 28. Yeah, finished grad school, taught in Guatemala, came back. Try to get a job in San Diego as a teacher. Fuck that. I mean, San Diego is gorgeous, so nobody's going to hire you first year out the box in San Diego. There's just no fucking way.
Just doesn't happen.
It's just beautiful. So I moved up to LA and started doing match. I was like ordering a pizza. Fortunately, I'm allergic to pizza, so that didn't work out well.
You said match?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's match? You said you started doing match?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that? It's match.com.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was really shy as a kid. And my parents made the conscious decision to give me Legos, which didn't help.
That's made you more shy.
Like, hey, you can, some parents are like, hey, you can go outside and talk to kids. My parents was like, hey, I'm going to give you the opportunity to be more isolated in your own plastic fucking utopia. So I dove into that with reckless abandon, purchased everything under the sun. And I didn't get social till probably grad school. But grad school was I learned a ton, theory, metacognitive approach, methodology, what have you. But I wasn't super social. And it's because I was majoring in multiple subject education. So, you can either get a multiple subject K through 6, you get a single subject, which is basically like 7 through fucking really tall kids. And all the people that were in my program were women. And at first you're like, oh, this is fucking great. It's all chicks. It's not, Steve. It's not. It's a certain type of chick. It's kindergarten teachers. And it's 90% kindergarten teachers. They're all female. They want to talk about babies and, preparing like weddings and shit. And it was very, very female. I'm a man, Steven. I'm full of testosterone. Anyway, fast forward ahead to I was only 28. And this girl on Match was like, hey, why don't you go play dodgeball with me? We're going to play at 1122 Cole Avenue. At the Cole Rec Center in Los Angeles. She didn't mention the homeless people that permeate the area. She just said, hey, just come play dodgeball. I want to play dodgeball. Never met her, had such a great time, never even tried to find her, and just been playing dodgeball ever since.
So basically, this came out of a need to socialize, meet some women. And Match.com is what we have to thank for bestowing upon us the Dave Benedetto. Is that what it boils down to?
Bestowing might be a little generous, but I appreciate your enthusiasm.
It's hard to keep it in, man. So 2000. Coming from like the most deadpan person in the world, but no, for sure, it's cool because
I appreciate it. You've always been. You know what's funny? You definitely have two sides to you, man. You got that librarian by day, and that drunken farm services food delivery guy at night. You're just partying. You're running around. You're supplying people with stuff. Conversational. But you definitely have two sides to you. You have, when you're out on there on the court, you're very calm. I imagine the military mindset kind of takes over a little bit. Consistency. But yeah, it's nice for us to be able to talk a little bit because we don't talk too much, man. I just see you on the court.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the wild side about me because I've been trying to contain that as I get older. But there definitely is a side to me that's more social and more outgoing. But with these events of late, I'll go to the tournament and I'll go home almost immediately after. Just got a lot to do, and it's kind of taken a toll on my socializing. But at the same time, I kind of make up for it by podcasting with people and getting to know them more. So it's yeah.
Well, I'll tell you I got a great military story. You want to hear a great military story?
I want to hear all the stories. That's why we're here.
All right. So my father, the year was back in the 60s. As you know, we were getting ready to go to war and travel 13,000 miles to a country most people couldn't pronounce and, kill their people. So anyway, my father, he was about draft age and he didn't want to be drafted. So back then, what you could do is you could go ahead and be in the reserves,
Right.
So he went ahead and he signed up for the reserves, I think maybe the Coast Guard, I forget, but it was just some reserve thing, weekend warrior, stuff like that. And that got him out of the draft, but he still had to go to basic training. And so he went to basic training and he went out it was actually out in Arizona, and he was out in Arizona. It was a summertime and just crazy heat, man. And they got them all out there in the green tents. You know the drill, right? They're out there in those green military tents. And it's like an 8-week training. And so he's out there. He's got this horrible mattress. It's blazing hot. It's dusty. And he's meeting his bunk guy. It's just him and some other dude. So, towards the end of the day, the announcements come up, or at least, it's like on a board, all the different jobs, because you got to divide all the jobs up. I mean, you got to, it's self-service there, nobody's going to pay you to just sit there and breathe, so you got to do all the different tasks and chores. They got, the guard duty. They got the guy who just does push-ups, whatever. And they had the KP duty, kitchen patrol, right?
Yep. My
dad did not want to do kitchen patrol. My dad was a pretty serious guy. I love him. I make him laugh all the time now. But growing up, you didn't fucking disagree with my father. You just didn't fucking do that. You did, dude. That was like staring up at a lion and trying to shave his face off. So my father looks at the thing. He goes down the list, kind of fingers through it, and sees his name's on it. Goes back to his buddy, new buddy, right? I mean, I just met this guy, so maybe he's not a buddy. Go back to his tent mate, and the guy says, "Hey, what'd you get? What'd you get, Benedetto?" The guy says, "Oh, I got KP." He said, "Oh, that sucks, dude. That's back-breaking fucking work, man. There's a lot of people there,
Right.
And my dad says, he looks the guy, looks him right in the eye, says, "You know what? I'll bet you. I will bet you $20. After my first KP duty, I never have to do KP again." Guy's like, "Dude, you're a fucking idiot." I mean, guy doesn't know my dad, but it doesn't matter who would say that. They're not gonna agree with this. You're fine. You're never gonna get out of it, man. It's the military. You just started. You're a fucking nothing. You're a plebe, right? So this is what my dad does. So next day they take him over KP. You know, it's like 6 a.m. Some big sergeant fucker comes over, you know, just green up and down. Brings my father into this military barracks, you know, and this is made out of, you know, this is an actual barracks. You know, this is something they took time to put up. It takes him into the kitchen. And in the kitchen, they've got these big, huge, you've probably seen them before, those big steel bins, you know, just shineless, spit shine steel, massive bins, right? Because it's a big, you know, it's a big outfit, big organization. And the guy looks at my father and he says, all right, listen up here, Benedetto. I don't know what you to do. You see those potatoes over there? And he points, you know, my father's telling me the story, you know, he does the voice and all that. So I do the voice here. He says, hey, you see all those potatoes over there? I want you to take all those potatoes. And I want you to peel all those fucking potatoes, you know. He didn't swear, but whatever, you know. And I want you to put them over in the bin. And I went, oh, you better do a good job, you know, or maybe more shit to do. You know, it's all right, so fine. So it's got a big, you know, massive thing of potatoes. You know, maybe there's like 500 guys there. They're going to go do their run. They're going to come back. They're going to want to eat. This is what my father does. Father spends the first couple hours, does the job. You know, he takes all the potatoes, you know, shucks them, whatever. I don't know. What is there a word for cutting? Is there like a special word for, you know, cutting potatoes or?
I think just peeling them.
Peeling. There you go. Peeling. There you go. That's good. So you see, you know, you've been in the military. You're peeling potatoes.
I don't
now he's peeling potatoes, right? He finishes all that. Then my father moves on to plan B. So he takes all his clothes off. And I don't know if you ever seen my father without his clothes on, but he's Italian. He's full Italian and Lord, if he's not hairy. I mean, the guy's a fucking walking Brillo pad, you know? So this Wookiee of my offset, he takes all the bins. He fills them up all with soap. So he pours in all the soap, and it's got it all frothy and foamy and everything, right? Then he jumps in the bin. He's rolling around. He's all frothy, right? So the sergeant comes back. Potatoes are done. He sees the potatoes are done. But in the potatoes is a 6'2", 250-pound, furry, naked Italian fucking rolling around the potatoes. So, of course, after that, you know, the sergeant's fucking, you never do potatoes again. And that's how I started dodgeball. So,
did he get like reprimanded for that? Because I imagine
I'm sure he did.
Oh, okay.
He moved up the ranks because he's the kind of guy that's like, no, we're going to get this done this way. And he would get it done. So they respected him, man. He was the kind of guy, Stephen, he still is. And I don't know if you have anybody like this in your life. He had an answer for everything. And it wasn't like bullshit. Like he would walk the walk. You know anybody like that?
A couple, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to say that this almost sounds like a Cool Hand Luke story.
A Cool Hand Luke. Yeah. Yeah.
Are
we talking Cool Hand Luke James Dean kind of thing?
Paul Newman.
Okay. I think James Dean was Paul Newman's son, maybe. I don't know my family tree there. But yeah, Paul Newman. Paul Newman's not very hairy though.
No, so it's more like a less hairy Paul Newman. Have you ever seen Cool Hand Luke?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Good movie?
Very good movie. Kind of like that and oh man, something Cisco Kid. That.
I grew up on Clint Eastwood. Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, the Ugly, A Few Dollars More. That was my fucking movie hero, man.
Gotcha. Let me make a recommendation. Check out Cool Hand Luke because his character literally will do anything that he was dared to do, and he didn't back down from anything. Tangent, obviously, we've definitely gone there already, but that's what I was ready for.
Cool Hand Luke, man.
Yeah, check it out.
Check that out.
Something in the Cisco Kid. Shoot, man, this is gonna bother me. I'm gonna think it in a second. Yeah, Paul Newman. Gonna get off this topic, but yeah, watch Cool Hand Luke. Check out The Hustler. That's a good one.
Good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Hustler's great.
Yeah,
Color of Money.
Butch
Great
Cassidy.
movie.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's what it's. Geez.
Great movies, man.
Yep.
There won't be, I'm going to tell you right now, there won't be movie stars anymore for 3 reasons. One, CGI has gotten so lifelike. You know, I mean, you're never going to see Alita in real life and fucking ask for autographs. She's like 50% animation. You see that new fucking movie?
Yeah.
The second thing is that the branch of internet and movie communication and distribution, it's so fucking spread out. You know, I mean, there was, you know, you grew up in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. There was Marlon Brando. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you know, there was only a couple of major motion picture industry studios. You know, so
yeah.
And plus, you know, Tom Cruise is already in his 50s, so we're all fucked. We're all fucked.
It's the last great actor.
That's right. Him and Keanu.
Oh,
you know,
I
and
love me Keanu.
You know, can't keep buying more brand new puppy dogs, and us believing that it's his new dog. You know, so.
Good old Keanu. He's one of my favorites. So let's talk about the Hollywood scene a little bit, because I mean you've been on TV before, Extreme Dodgeball League. Let's kind of back up, kind of get back on track. 2000-ish, 2000. Because this is what I really like is the fact that so far in our OG panel discussions, I think the earliest we can get in terms of when dodgeball was actually a thing was like 2004, 2003 at best. But I think Eric Tillman said that he'd been playing since 2001. Was that the case with you? Or did you start earlier?
Yeah, okay. me and him started together like 2000, 2001.
And this was Los Angeles Dodgeball Society?
Yeah, there was like maybe 8 people, 20 people.
It's hard to believe.
But the thing with the TV show, and it's probably, honestly, I believe it's, I mean, listen, I love Mark. Me and him are I hope he considers me a best friend. I love him to death. You know, he's helped me out with a lot of things in life, and I'm loyal to him, and I'm dedicated to him and anything he wants. So this comment shouldn't take away anything from my feelings towards him. I feel that if dodgeball is going to get back on TV, you've got to have characters. You just got to have characters. I think people watch sports for one of 4 reasons. Number one, if they're playing it at the time. So if you're a basketball player, you're going to, of course, watch basketball. Number 2, if you can bet on it. Betting is nobody ever realizes how huge betting is, man. It's $1 trillion industry. And those that do, it's because they're doing it, which is a lot more fucking people than most people imagine. So you got gambling, you've got playing it at the time, you've got number 3, it's interesting, okay? And number 4, you've got characters. So let's apply that to dodgeball. Number 1, gambling. Nobody gambles on dodgeball. Okay. Number 2, it's interesting. Okay. Well,
we can say dodgeball is interesting, right? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, okay. Number 1 is gambling. Sorry, that was the Malibu there. Number 1 is gambling. Okay. You can't gamble on dodgeball. Number 2, if you're playing the sport. Okay. So the people that are playing the sport are watching it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Number 3, because you find it interesting. The average person does not find watching a ball go back and forth interesting. Plus, it's incredibly fucking difficult to keep up with, you know. And number 4 is there's characters. Now, number 4 will trump anything. NFL football, you ask women, millions of women will say that they know when Terrell Owens was out there, they knew who Terrell Owens was. Not because they want to sleep with them or anything like that, but because he was an interesting story character. And you could do that with other football players like Tony Romo. Other players that are interesting characters. And so, you know, when there's a Super Bowl or there's a game on Sunday or something, it's a huge audience if you make people into characters. So I think what's left is dodgeball ever going to get back on TV? I don't know, just based on really good athletes throwing balls at each other. You know, it's great for a gimmick. I mean, I've done the Shaw's of Sunset, and, you know, Vince did the Bachelor thing, and, you know, there's been, and we did the ESPN Sports Science until they kicked us off because the fucking announcer guy got too scared, or the guy who runs it. But I mean, it's been on gimmicky for the last 20 years. If you develop some interesting characters that are actually athletes too,
right,
then it'll get better on TV, I think.
Push pause real quick.
I hope it does. I hope Mark is able to get it on TV. I think what he's doing is great with USA Dodgeball, and I think it'll get into the Olympics. But you look at track and field. Track and field has characters. They definitely have characters, but they only have one of those four things. Remember, we talked about the four things. You can't gamble on track, right? It's not an interesting sport to watch. People run around in a circle. I mean, I ran college Division I for UCSB. It's boring as fuck. You know, we had the Division I Big West Championships. Maybe there was like, you know, 300 people out there watching. You know, we're going against UCLA, Utah, you know, Arizona State, all that stuff. You know, and this is supposed to be the championship. Whereas in college football, you know, division, I mean, you could have the Akron Zips, you know, versus Tulsa State, and you're still going to get 20,000 people in the stands.
Right.
I think you have to have two of those four criteria in order for it to sell. So
those are really good takeaways, and I think you were kind of, I want to echo what Tillmans was saying when he was like, the reason why people finally took to football was because the way it was presented was it told a story. It centered around the quarterback and what he's doing, and it gave you like a linear way to follow.
When NFL films, you know, when the NFL first started out, dude, nobody was in the fucking stands. You know, when it started out, it was not popular at all. NFL reached the plateau, another plateau, a significant plateau, when NFL films came out, and it told a story. And if you don't think there's good storytellers in sports videos or movies, it's because they're not as good as when NFL films, they set the standard. And they're, you know, ESPN films 30 for 30 are good, but there's nothing like the raw amount of time, the perfect fucking angles, the details that go into NFL films. You've seen NFL films, right?
Like when they do like the old school vintage games, or
when they do anything by NFL Films, which was actual filming. You know, they actually did, you know, 35 millimeter films. They had all the film cameras. They'd set it up, you know. Yeah, CBS, ESPN, they do that stuff now, but it's not the craftsmanship that it used to be. And they don't need to, because now it's fucking super popular. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like we just get pumped out with, like, you know, Pardon the Interruption and ESPN, and everybody's cranking out storylines. And we're all fucking ADHD, so we don't need a fucking sonnet, you know, a fucking 1 hour sonnet on NFL films to get hooked anymore. You know what I'm saying? All we need is just, you know, those different venues to go ahead and pump something out for us really quick, and we buy in because we want storylines. We inherently want storylines, and Dodgeball doesn't have that. If they can crank that out, then great, man. You know.
Yeah, so let's kind of go into playing on the Texas Shade, where I think I first actually like met you. Speaking of filming professional dodgeballs, because obviously, you know, the NDL, they tried to do this before. They tried to, you know, put together a very well polished product, but it obviously, who knows why, but it didn't take off. I mean, you played in how many seasons? 1, 2, 3? After
I think I did it for like 5 seasons or what have you. I know I've talked about this a lot before. I'm gonna actually take a positive angle on this, because I think, you know, there's an old saying, history repeats itself, and if you don't learn from your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Right. I feel like in the in our history, we always fight a major war about every 30 years. You know, you have a Civil War and World War I, about 30 years later, World War II, then Vietnam, then Gulf War. I figure we'll be blowing somebody up in about another 10 years. And so what happens is the idea being a kid that wasn't part of the war grows up, becomes an adult, and forgets about the war, and then we just forget about our history. I think nobody's forgotten about that. I think we all learned from that just to be more transparent. Mark actually, I think, learned what not to do from Ed Prentice. I know Mark had actually asked Ed for a couple of years. He says, hey, you know, let me help you. Let me help you. No, I don't need any help. And Mark figured out being transparent is the key to success. And he's done an amazing, him and Jake have just done an amazing job. They're doing something nobody's ever done before.
And what is that exactly? They've listened to the players. They've been transparent, as you said. They took the lessons learned and not applied from the NDL. Is that fair to say?
Definitely fair to say. They're an open book. They're not on some high golden tower somewhere. You could talk to them. You know, they're very down to earth. They're very self-confident, and you can give them your opinion, you know, and they'll listen, and then they'll check and see if there's, you know, a consensus, if that opinion keeps coming up. So Mark's very smart guy.
Yeah. Like I said, Serge Ferrari asked me, you know, somebody asked me the Mount Rushmore dodgeball question, you know, the 4 most influential people, and I listed Ed Prentice because despite all the drama that surrounds him, he did build something that, while he could have refined, and he did for several years until he stopped, but he gave people like Mark and Jake and people that are more open to change and being receptive to the players a chance to build off of that. And so to continue with this as a positive aspect, you know, we do have Ed to thank for that. But I wanted to kind of...
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, and I know we definitely take a dump on him a lot, but I mean, there's still a lot of good there. But,
yeah, and I agree. And I think, you know, it's in the past now. But then again, it's not, because, like, dude, him with the world championships, like, he knew like 6 months ahead of time that they didn't have the money. And he didn't tell any of the teams. And all these teams from around the world, yeah, you know, they had to reschedule their, you know, where they're going, where they're staying, all this stuff. And it's a, you know, it was incredibly insensitive, you know, just for him to save face. You know, he inconvenienced people, a lot of people, financially, time-wise. You know, not everybody's a teacher, gets 15 weeks off, you know, I mean,
right.
And then change the venue. And then, hey, you know, I mean, these people, they booked hotels in a certain location, and then all of a sudden it's in another location. And he knew this 6 months out that he wasn't going to get the funds for this. So, you know, I don't respect him as a person, but I'll tell you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met some amazing people. You know, I never would have met, you know, all the people I've met in Arizona. I've made some best friends in Arizona, you know. I mean, I know you. I've met a lot of good friends in Arizona. I go out there now and I visit them and we spend time together. That never would have happened without the NDL.
Yeah, it's provided a lot of good opportunities, and yeah, I guess I could just leave it at that. I mean, it's the reason why we're having this conversation, and you know, I'm looking right now just mentally at all the friends that have been involved in my life because of that. It's pretty crazy, and for us to be able to transition into something a little bit better run, to still have a reason to do so and still have a reason to play is great.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've met friends, and I'm sure you have too, from LA, and you know, I've met friends that I'll know and do stuff with for the rest of my life, and I feel very lucky, very lucky.
So let's talk about like continuing the sport and whatnot. So like FSU, what does that stand for?
Okay, so originally I called it FSI, and then I put it on a bunch of pencils. and it was Foam Services Incorporated. And then my buddy's like, well, hey, aren't you the only person running it? I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. So I changed it to FSU, Foam Services Unincorporated.
Okay.
So I started it 3 months ago. We sold out our first tournament, sold out, and that was in December, and sold out our second one, and we're going to sell out our third one. We've been doing one every month. The goal is to get a league together, and I don't need to make money. I mean, I've been doing this for free. I make good money, and I'm old. And, you know, when you get old, you start to reflect on things, and you're like, you know, why the fuck am I here on this earth? You know, I mean, I'm here to raise my son. I'm here to teach. I'm here to be a decent husband, you know. And I still have some energy left at the end of the day. And it feels great to put shit together and fucking run it and look around and see people fucking smile. And so I'm having a fucking blast doing it, man. You know, it might last one more month. It might last, 40 fucking years, man. But I'll tell you this much. It's easy for me to do it cheaper than anybody else because I don't have any fucking overhead. I don't have anybody I have to pay, and as it gets bigger, maybe the prices will go up a little bit, maybe not, to pay other people, but honestly, like you look at the prices in LA, I don't know. Let me ask you a question because I'm going to tell you a price breakdown here. What do you pay for a league in Arizona?
If we are responsible adults, I think we get early pricing at 55. If not, it goes up to 65.
And so how many weeks is that?
I want to say 8 weeks plus the tournament plus a shirt.
Okay. So that's a good price. It's a good price, but that's not bad. But it's also Arizona. Everything's cheaper. So in LA, if you want to do a 7-week league, and then you got your playoffs and stuff, and you get a shirt, you're going to pay between 65 to 95, depending upon the league.
Ouch.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say there's one league where you pay like 80 something for, I think it's like 80 for like 7 weeks. Let's say you do the playoffs. Let's say you're making the fucking finals. So you end up playing 10 games, right? That's $8 a game, and it's 50 minutes. So it's like $10 an hour. Yeah, you look at like a gym membership, it's like $40 for a month, and you can work out for 20 days, So, like this tournament I'm doing right now, it's $15. We play for 4 or 5 hours. I provide alcohol. I give raffle prizes. I give cash prizes, because it's cheap. It's fucking cheap, dude. I mean, the gyms here, I could get them from 35 to 65 an hour, but people, people get greedy, I mean, there's some people like Torrey Thompson's fucking fantastic. He's starting his own shit a little bit, I see, and he's fucking great. And he's like me. We just love the fucking sport, So if I do like a 10-week league, if I get enough momentum going, if this keeps going, I could charge $40, for 10 weeks. And I could,
That's a good discount or a good price.
We'll see how it plays out, man. But you shouldn't have to fucking spend a lot of money on playing a sport. I mean, it's crazy. Remember when rec centers were open on Sundays and stuff, and you could go play? Like, are you guys rec centers open on Sundays in Arizona?
I want to say they are. And I'm only basing this off of Kiwanis Rec Center. I believe was open on Sundays, and then at the YMCA in Tucson, where I worked out of, they closed after like 2009. They just said no more Sundays for us. Okay, well that's interesting. And in LA though, they closed. They dropped Sundays years ago, And so some of the rec centers they'll charge more money, but you gotta you
you got to be able to talk to people, you know, and make deals. And so we'll see how it plays out, man. I'm getting a lot of support, and I appreciate it. It makes me feel good.
That's awesome.
We'll see. You know, my goal is, and plus I'm doing foam right now. I'll probably do a little nose thing, probably do a little rubber. You know, if it pisses some people off, hey, I'll tell you a good story. Let me tell you a good story, because you can understand where I'm coming from here. You know, so in LA they have parks and they have grass. Okay.
That's good.
The grass is free. Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to start simple.
All right.
I don't know who's watching. Yeah.
Literally the ground up. That's good.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Now let's build a story. So you start with ground, you start with grass, and these parks, there's plenty of parks where you could just go fucking play and kick a ball around, right? And there was this guy, I won't mention any names, but he does this sports thing. He's still fucking doing it. I don't know how he gets people, you know. Well, you know, he gets people because they don't see there's better options out there. That's how he gets people. But I'll tell you a good story. So this was about maybe 10 years ago. And I still go out and play soccer. I play soccer, and I found some groups where we play for free. And it's smart. I play with 20 guys. We go to a park. We just fucking play. And we do it. You know, you can do it any day if you find the right group. Well, this guy was charging $10 a person. And he was just going to a public park. And he had spent like, you know, maybe $80 on 2 decent looking nets. So this was like back in the summer of 2008. So I'm watching this, and I'm going to the first couple of meets and playing, having a good time. And I talking to a couple of people, hey, you know, you renting out the park? No, it's free. I went and talked to the park. No, it's free, you know. Like, all right, this is fucking ridiculous, dude. This guy's making $200 on something we're already paying fucking taxes for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I get it. He should get a little bit of money. You know, he bought the goalposts and stuff, you know, but it wasn't like he was like putting up some fancy website and shit. I mean, I found it on Craigslist. So in terms of like legwork, there wasn't any, you know. I mean, you'd like do a post once a week, you know, come out, $10. I got fuck this. So I had a convertible back then, and I got this huge fucking whiteboard, you know. Oh no, you know what? I had butcher paper, and I wrote this huge fucking sign and just taped it all over my car. And said, free soccer. And I went out there the day it was going to go, and I parked it right next to the fucking field. And I bought some traffic cones that I had stolen from Caltrans, right? So I had like 4 big orange traffic cones. And I spent like $10 on a ball. And so there's this huge park, right?
Right.
And he's set up. He's starting to set up, right? He drives by my car. He's kind of staring at it. Right? And he's starting to set up, right? So he comes back after he sets his stuff up. And so I have an arrow pointing towards the other half of the field. So he's got his thing set up. I got my fucking traffic cones, right? And so it just unfolds. People start driving up. They're parking. Obviously they're seeing the sign. Looking over at his shit. They're looking over here. I got cones. He's got a net. And slowly, one by one, they start putting their $10 in their pocket and coming over and playing fucking soccer.
Wow.
We pay taxes for the fucking field. And so it was free for that summer. And I stopped playing after that summer. I moved on, but I still see his fucking posts. He still sends me emails about, hey, you know, soccer here, $10. I mean, he's moved to different places, but some things are just the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the motivation behind FSU Dodgeball. Is you're just trying to provide more dodgeball for people, essentially.
Yeah, and I will always be cheaper than anybody else. And if I'm not, somebody tell me. Like last week I posted it, and I was like, "Do you guys want to pay $20 or 15?" And everybody's like, 15. I'm like, cool. All right, fuck it, 15. We'll just do less prize money, but $15, you know?
What was the deciding factor? $20 for another event, or you're just trying to figure out how to price it?
Just figure out how to price it. I love feedback. Nice. So I gave them options. I said, we can do it for $20 and you have more prizes in cash. $15, a little less prizes in cash. $10,
just a little bit of cash. So, because the gyms, let's say the gym's 40, 50 an hour. You do 5 hours of the gym. That's like 200, maybe 250, what have you. Let's say the gym's $220, let's say, right? You get everybody paying $15. As soon as you've got 20 people, dude, that's $300. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The gyms come with nets. I've got a stereo. My buddy Aaron loans me the balls. Fucking painter's tape's a couple of bucks. I got whistles. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like we're setting up a service where people get to use VR glasses on some plasma TV while they're jumping into some like electromagnetic like simulator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you kind of remind me of like how I used to do events in Tucson, and that was, okay, my cost is super low. There's no reason to jack this up. Hey, you want a cash prize? Okay, registration is going to cost you like $20, $15 more, and that's it. And then it was, as long as the overhead was taken care of, as long as it was kept light and lean, then I was happy. I was able to give Dodgeball to people for less than $20 a season. Very, very awesome partnership I worked out with the YMCA. When you go back to saying it's important to be able to talk to people and strike a deal.
Yes.
And it's possible. I mean, I imagine whoever's listening, if you're a league organizer, you're probably like, rolling your eyes or just saying, oh yeah, I wish it was that easy. So it's definitely not a knock on people that need to charge what they do.
No, and it's not. And in no way am I trying to knock Elite. Elite puts so many fucking man hours into so many details that their type of clientele expects and appreciates and is willing to pay the money for. My clientele right now is just people that don't give too much of a shit about the score. They want to have some fun.
Yep. They
want to burn some calories. So yeah, Elite's just way more planned out, way more organization. The amount of, nobody realizes the amount of hours that Mark puts into it. And so, I think on Dodgeball Family, I've told people to fuck off sometimes if they give Mark a hard time because they don't realize it.
Yeah.
The people that do realize it are the ones that have organized events and tried to do the little extras, which is what Mark does. And then also too, Mark takes the money and he just puts it back in the fucking sport, and builds USA Dodgeball as well. So
yeah, and that's I'm glad you said that because again, I might be swatting at the hornet's nest, but if people are complaining about paying a $25 membership fee to play in Elite Dodgeball and these high caliber, more polished events, and you know what it's like to show up to a crappy tournament way back from back in the good old days. But people that are griping about that really just don't understand what it takes to make this stuff work. And I love Mark, but it's definitely not just him anymore. It's it's Jake Mason, it's Brendan Tickner, it's all the wardens of the north, south, east, and west. It's all the people that will ref. I mean, there's a lot that go into it, and it's just if Mark was to charge increased prices, I'd be like, fine, this is the cost of playing Elite Dodgeball.
Totally. It's a totally separate thing.
Yep.
And the amount of time and effort and planning and offering offering to fucking go and research hotels. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then seeing if you can get a deal and set shit up. I mean, it's just hours and fucking hours of time and coordinating gyms. Mark's just not going around LA just trying to find one gym and then fucking retire. I mean, he's got to fucking coordinate this shit all across the country. And I love that, he's kind of allowing some other people to help out as well,
learning to trust and let go and actually delegate. And
yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic leader. He's a fantastic leader. But he has a life too, Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've tried to hang out with him for fucking years because I love hanging out with him. But he's just always busy doing dodgeball. And it makes me happy. It's like Goodwill Hunting. When fucking Ben Stiller or
Affleck.
Not Ben Stiller, Ben Affleck, he comes up to the fucking door, and Matt Damon's there and he's like, not the personal buddy, but if you're here and still fucking here laying bricks, and 5 years I'll kick your fucking ass, man.
That was a good scene. A hell of a quote.
Yes.
And that is, I was like, man.
I mean, if you really care about somebody, you want him to be successful. You know, I want Mark to get this shit on TV. You know, my opinion is just my 2 cents. So I want him to definitely be successful.
Yep.
I would say too, and the thing about in LA, you know, I'm nothing special. There's a fucking 1,000 dodgeballers that could fucking run a tournament or something like that. The key is getting a relationship with the gym, you know. And I think, like when you said partnership with a gym, that's really what it is. You want to build something long term, because I was talking to one of the gyms yesterday, and I went, and you always got to go talk in person. And I went talk to a person, you know, and I'm trying to get a better deal. And I says, you know, how does your guys' budget work? Do you guys hire and fire based on the extra money that comes in for people paying to use your gym, or does that get just siphoned off and sent back to the government? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to ask the right types of questions, because you got to figure out what their motivation is. If their boss and their fucking hiring procedures has nothing to do with any of this supplemental income that the gym picks up, and rather just kind of adheres to here's the salary, here's our budget, because of that, we keep this open for these set hours. You got to ask the right questions, you know?
Yeah. Again, it's just going back to, it's not, how am I going to phrase this? It's not an organization that you're talking to. You're talking to people. Once you get to have that interface and you get to see where the motivations are, you know, who knows what kind of arrangement you can strike up. I was actually approached with this YMCA Dodgeball League deal. They actually asked me, hey, we know you play dodgeball. Would you be willing to run a league for us? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk. And then 3 years of nonstop back-to-back seasons of dodgeball with bright, smiley, shining faces was worth all the effort. But I did want to ask and kind of move into some of the some of the crowdsourced questions that we got. Mostly because we're already kind of creeping towards the 1 hour mark, and I know this is trying to keep it within 2. Really hard to do that, but I do want to at least, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, you and I could probably shoot the breeze for a very long time. So anything that I can capture, I will treasure it, and we'll probably have to do this again. But let's go ahead and do the guys some justice by reading their questions, and start with Sergio Leone. He asks, you know, what is your favorite celebrity you played with, and one you want to play against?
Sheesh. Mario Lopez was so chill and so easygoing, man.
Slater, right?
He was super easygoing. Just a really easygoing guy, man. I feel like a lot of personalities you see on TV, if you see them in a certain way, or you see an actor a certain way, it might not be because they're typecast. It's probably because they're typecast because of their personality, you know? Like, right. Clint Eastwood, you're never going to see him fucking hyper in a movie. And it's because he's not hyper in real fucking life, you know?
Yeah, that's not him.
That was definitely cool. I actually fucking met, who in the movie Dodgeball, he came and fucking watched us play once.
Vince Vaughn?
No, the underdog character, the fucking kid.
Justin Long?
He was the co-star with Bruce Willis in Die Hard 3. Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah, Justin Long, the kid.
He was a great guy, dude.
Really?
We were fucking playing dodgeball, and he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you're a pretty good dodgeballer." I'm like, "Hey, I saw you in a movie. You're a pretty good actor."
Nice.
So, but that's LA. You know, people always. I'm sure everybody in LA has their story of running into a celebrity. They probably just want to be talked to normally, I think.
To see that they're human beings and not Not hounded for photographs and autographs and all that other crap.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fucking hassle after a while. You know, they're self-confident to know who they are. If they're like real celebrities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, tell them a fucking joke, you know? Yeah. I met Jay Leno after I actually made Jay Leno laugh. I was shooting ESPN Sports Science, and Jay Leno was outside at the Burbank studio area, and he was in his fucking that super rocket penis car. You know that super. He's got no. I'm serious. It looks like a fucking penis. They took a jet engine and they fucking put it in his car. And I don't remember the joke, but it was something about my wife and the penis car. And he got a chuckle.
Nice.
You know, I don't know if he just did it because he wants to live longer or he thought I was funny, but you know, we all just want to fucking laugh, hopefully, at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I got a really good question for you, but I'm going to say that for later. And that's kind of why I'm jumping into the crowdsource, but hold that thought. Mason, your buddy, Sergio asks, can we get a showdown between you and the Doom Train for the masses?
Are you talking about with Mason?
Yep, you versus Mason.
Yeah, I fucking line faulted that one year.
Yeah, we want to see that dude. Acted out.
I'll ask Mark if he can fucking stuff the ballot so I could take him on in 1v in the showdown for the opening round. Maybe I can get lucky.
Are you coming to Phoenix?
Yeah, I got picked up on a team. 45 is the new 46, apparently. So, looking forward to fucking some people out, man.
Nice. Mason's going to be there. I practiced with the Doom Train himself on Saturday. He's trying to get in shape again. So that might happen.
Dude, that guy's just like a physical response, dude.
He is, how did I describe him? He is a linebacker. No, he's a, shit. What is it?
Take a building, add hair, open up 2 windows for the eyes and, throw shit at him for the rest of his life.
Okay. I got it. If I remember, he's a linebacker. No, he's a 10-year-old trapped in linebacker's body. That is the best way I've ever heard him be described.
I remember in Vegas, we were eating muffins and punching each other in the nuts back and forth. I miss him, so it'll be nice to see him.
Yeah, he's an old friend of mine, and I just remember, I don't know what I'm going to get with this kid. I'm either going to hang out with him, have a cool conversation, or we're going to fight. And by fight, I mean he's going to throw me around until he's tired, like the Hulk.
Yeah, but you're in the military. Can't you, stab him or something? Don't you have, a bayonet or something?
I mean, I could knife hand him, I guess, and see how that works out. But it's kill or be killed. And I think if I don't get a good jump on him, I'm done for, even with all the military training. But
yeah, it's like, fighting Mason's like trying to give a polar bear a manicure. You better get it right the first time.
Yeah, what'd you say earlier? It's like trying to shave a lion by its mane. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. It's like sneaking up on a lion and shaving its face off.
Yeah, good luck to you if you're going to try that. Or my favorite's always holding a wolf by its ears.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, good luck.
Jesus. Fuck. Sounds like my last Tinder date.
I mean, well, hold on now.
Oh, yeah, I'm married.
I was like, wait a minute.
No, I'm married. 10 years, happily.
It's like, does not compute.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a wolf.
For sure. Emilio Vales asks, what's the best part on participating in Extreme Dodgeball? So what was the best part of being a part of that?
Fucking winning the money, dude. Jesus. I bought a 350Z. That was the last period of my manhood. And I ended up selling that, and now I have a Honda Civic.
You say with such hesitation and sadness.
Yeah, just like how the car performs.
Hesitation and sadness. That's pretty good.
Hi, Emilio.
Oh,
keep making the comic strips. You know, Emilio's the kind of guy that nobody appreciates. He fucking posts. He gets like 3 or 4 likes.
Shares everything.
That fucker is so generous, dude.
Yeah,
he takes the time and he designs fucking caricatures of all the dodgeball players. So here's to you, Emilio. I hope you're doing great, man.
He shares everything, and he's a great guy. And I hope we see some of his comics out here on the West Coast sometime soon.
Hey, I see Tyler's on here, and I want to give a shout out to Tyler, man. You know, fucking poor Tyler, dude. And I don't mean this to be a pity party, but it was a fucked up situation. And you know, there was a post in Dodgeball Family, and I get the backlash. You know, some people are like, oh, it's just a, you know, circle jerk, you know, because Tyler's only like looking at certain people. And well, dude, if you were at the tournament, then he'd fucking look at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I get what other people are saying, you know, but here's first of all, for people to get, actually, no, that's not it. I was going to say people get so upset about the rankings. That's not what happened. You know what happened? That fucking post started, and people made a couple of comments, you know, and Tyler's articulating, and he's explaining his process. And then some dumbass fucking posts something about being gay is not a fucking,
it's a lifestyle
being gay
choice.
Is not a choice. And it just fucking ruined everything.
Yeah.
You know, like Tyler takes the time to fucking do this stuff. And yeah, people had some gripes, but Tyler was explaining things and the process was going on. And then some fucking ass clown fucking posts some fucking racist, homophobic fucking shit. And now it's like the whole thing just, you know, all the time Tyler put in to fucking do that Tribune post. Now it just has this negative connotation, you know?
Yeah.
You know, when I saw the list, I wasn't on it. Have I beaten some of those people? Yeah. But guess what? I don't fucking go to all those fucking tournaments. You know, I was at elite like 1 tournament fucking last year. So, you know, if you're going to get your panties up in a bunch about some dude's opinion, like, that's fine. I'm not judging you, but you might not live as long as the people that just kind of pick their battles, you know?
Yeah.
And again, whoever that douchebag was, fucking, you know, if I fucking saw him in person, I give him a piece of my mind, because it's just a fucking waste of time on Facebook, you know, fucking keyboard warriors and shit.
There are plenty. And yeah, so I've made the comment before, like anytime I see a comment thread beyond 30, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to bother. But I know that Tyler gets a lot of flack for his articles, but at the same time, there's a demand for them, and I'm glad that he's doing them, and I hope he doesn't stop. And I just hope that it's a lesson that he can refine and get better and perfect over time, because that's just how that's how you gotta do things. You gotta.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah. Exactly, dude. You can't please everybody. I mean, when he first posted those lists, I was bummed for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, am I on there? No. But you know what, dude? It fucking inspires people, man.
It should.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, there's 50 people on one of those lists, you know, and there's like 4 lists. Maybe there's like 200 fucking people or whatever. Dude, everybody that sees that, even if it just inspires like 25% of those people to do fucking, well, if you're first, I mean, well, actually, if you're first, you're probably more fucking inspired.
Yeah, you gotta
even
hold
if it just inspires like 25 people, you got 50 people fucking motivated, you know? And to all those people that, you know, your job is like paving a fucking street, you know, or whatever, you know, you need to reflect and ask yourself, do you inspire anybody every day, you know? So, I mean, if you give a shit, you know, I think it's a great fucking feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're listening, Tyler, hang in there, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, props to you, Tyler. You know, and I always give him a hard fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking, I hope he's listening, because I fucking love him, but he's probably fucking sick of me, dude.
I can't take this anymore.
We've been friends for years. He's a teacher, and so we appreciate each other. And he appreciates my humor, and I appreciate his fucking tenacity. But every time I fucking see him when we're playing, if he fucking gets out, I'm like, oh shit, Tyler, you got to go down the rankings, dude. If I fucking get it out, I'm like, Tyler, dude, am I gonna make the list? You know, you have fun.
Yeah, and for you, it's in good fun. It doesn't hurt your ego if you're not on there, and if you're not on there, get better. Just get better.
And I'll make a quick suggestion. One thing I think is going well with the FSU is you gotta be silly with your fucking rankings. Like, dude, my last one was fucking tricycles, bicycles, and unicycles. You know, so people don't get so fucking obsessed. In fact, I'll let you in on a little secret. I didn't rank anybody a fucking unicycle. So everybody would be a bicycle or tricycle. You know what I mean? I mean, like, who gives a fuck out, you know, if you're suck or you're great, you know? Just try to balance the teams, you know?
Yeah, try to have fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, he did ask, well, actually, Markel asked, what is your pre-dodgeball drink and after?
Malibu.
And then I was going to say,
Malibu.
I think everybody should know that by now. But and then Tyler asked, what about during? Is it still Malibu?
Malibu.
Yep.
Malibu.
It's like common knowledge.
Nothing sneaks up on you like Malibu, dude. Malibu is like a free subscription to Pornhub without the attachments, you know? It's like you're walking down the street and somebody just hands you a fucking burrito. You know, it's you know, 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. Oh, that's Alanis Morissette.
Like, okay, it's a little ironic.
Yeah, that's ironic. But Malibu's great. Nothing sneaks up on you like Malibu. And let me tell you something, you young kids out there with your fucking hard stuff and let's do a fucking Irish car terrorist bomb or a fucking Jaeger face or whatever, or a fucking blow zone. Let me tell you, when you get older, it all circles back, dude. You want the sweet stuff again, dude. You know? That's why fucking old people eat Jell-O, dude.
I did not know that old people ate Jell-O. I hate Jell-O.
You hate Jell-O?
Can't do it, man. It's just too, no. I could do Jell-O shots, but not, that's because there's a purpose to it. Like,
yeah, there's an outcome.
Exactly. Something will happen other than just being grossed out.
Well, how old are you, Steve?
35.
Oh yeah, okay. You won't hit the sweets till the 40s.
Okay. That makes sense. I'll get there.
Yes. Hey, if we do this again in 10 years, I'll ask you what you're eating.
Be radically different.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now I'm on the health train just a little bit, but I deviate sometimes.
Okay.
Felix Peroni asked, "Is National Treasure a good movie?" I don't know if there's like an inside reference there, or if you guys
gone
back
don't
and
know.
forth.
You're a national treasure, Felix. You're a fucking national treasure.
That's what I said.
No, that's great, dude. He wanted to go into left field, and he ended up in fucking space camp. So that's all right, man. I appreciate that, dude.
For sure.
And then I see. Okay. No, that's got not Joan Cusack, but
Nicolas Cage.
Who's the other guy? That the white actor that still does fucking B movies. He's been around forever, dude.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, dude.
Yep. I think anything he does is gold.
That's a shitty movie, Felix. That's a shitty fucking movie. You want to see a good movie? See fucking Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne.
That was a weird movie. That was weird.
Great fucking movie, dude.
I didn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah, Sam Neill being all weird, and I guess I was expecting more. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another chance, but it was just.
Would you want the spaceship to like sing and dance too? It's already fucking talking.
No, I think I wanted to see more of hell, if that makes sense.
Yeah, dude. When the guy's arms being fucking eaten, and it's like up to the elbow, and it's just shoving down. Like those were like split shots. So you wanted to see more of that.
No, I wanted to see what their interpretation of hell really was like. Like I wanted to spend like 10, 15 minutes in hell and see what it looks like.
Wow, that's easy. That's watching Carrot Top perform 2 feet away from you for 7 hours.
Yeah.
With no Jell-O.
I mean, I'm good with the no Jell-O part, but hanging out with Carrot Top for 2 hours in front of me. is he gonna make me want to go to church now? I don't want that.
You're so military, dude. No, Jello, I'm not doing it. All right.
Negative. That's a big no. It's a no-go.
Okay.
Chad Landrum asks, is it true that if someone were to slay you in battle, they would receive your power or some of your power?
Chad, dude, always coming from a video game perspective, dude.
Of course.
I fucking miss Chad, dude. Me and him, we were fucking driving around fucking UDC. It was like 2015. He's let me stay at his house, dude. He lets me call him Fat Jedi. Fucking embraces it. There, you know what, dude? Chad is one of the success stories, dude. Like, here's the thing, dude. Being at the top of dodgeball is great, but you got to still have a life, dude. Chad he reproduced. He's got kids. He's got a wife.
He's got a good job.
I'm not saying you have to reproduce, but the guy is just so well-rounded, man. And every time I see him, he's fucking happy, dude.
Yeah.
You know? Chad, but yeah, he always plays video games. So, and I don't know how he does it and fucking keeps his fucking job, which is great. Yeah, dude, that's absolutely true, dude. Like, okay, so one time, dude, I fucking beat the shit out of this +12 frost giant, and my nipples were hard, dude, for like 3 months because I absorbed some of the frost giant's coldness.
So if we want to go into battle with you, we have to realize there's some frost giant in you that we got to contend with as well.
Oh, and fucking me and Chad played on, dude, we fucking played last year on Blaze. He was so great, dude. And hey, props to him for playing on fucking Rise now, dude. He fucking deserves it, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Did very well.
I'm going to miss watching him in UDC, dude. He was like fucking Jim Belushi out there, dude. Just this fucking muscular balloon fucking catching balls and shit. So I look forward to seeing him. Chad, if you're listening, I look forward to seeing you, bro. And if we play each other, let's save each other till the end.
Nice. You got a long list of that from people that want peace, I think. Miles Garner asks, and I'm glad he brought this up because I was going to, so I saved it for this round. But what motivated you to create the Dodgeball Dojo, and at what point did you decide to go from serious to silly? Was there ever a point where it was going to be serious? First of all,
no.
Okay, so I was like, Miles, I don't think you know Dave very well.
I get his question. I mean, there's like 50 of them, and yeah, they were more serious. You know, at the beginning, they were like information. Punchline, information. And Mark was helping me with this. And Mark was like, hey, dude, you know what? You're a fucking character, dude. I'm going to help you make some money. We're going to fucking put these on YouTube and get a shitload of views. And then I was like, okay, cool. So then we fucking did them. And I was fucking into it. And I appreciate Mark for fucking helping me with that. He was fucking awesome. And then we got a few likes. And now and then I got a check, or no, Mark called me up after like 6 months and we'd done like 30 of them. And, well, we were talking like every day and stuff. And finally a check came in, you know, the YouTube residuals, you know, that we all hear about in folklore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was a check for 85 cents.
Wow.
And I think it had like 10,000 views total by then or something. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me just do stupid shit, because that's all I want to do anyway. So
what'd you do with all that money?
If you watch them from a kinesthetic point of view, you'll definitely learn the right shit to do. I mean, I'm fucking 45 and I feel as good as an 8 when I was fucking 20. You just got to take care of your body. So if you want to learn how to fucking mechanics and kinesiology, it's in there. So
there's some gold.
Now I just do them for fucking fun, dude. And it's great because fucking people like, dude, fucking Eric Stone. We were at the fucking Minneapolis, and we fucking made a dojo where fucking all his team was like, all right. I'm like, all right, all you guys get in the fucking revolving door. And we fucking were running around the revolving door while Eric was fucking beaming us, dude. And it was great, dude. So I think for the rest of my life, the rest of the dojos, I would prefer somebody come up to me and be like, let's make a fucking dojo, and we fucking crank one out in 5 minutes and just have a good laugh.
And that's it. It's not let's make a video on XYZ. Let's make a dojo. Like that's a
yeah.
Is that a verb?
I mean, why are we here on this earth, dude? There's only 4 reasons why you're on this earth, dude. To fucking entertain, to fucking teach, to fucking help, or to have sex. I don't know. Maybe there's like 5.
Reproduce, maybe.
Reproduce, yeah. Oh, and to watch fucking Lifetime movies.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm missing, because I definitely stopped watching Lifetime about 20 years ago.
No, you're a busy guy, dude. You're a busy guy. You do the military, you do the dodgeball, you got a job, you got a life, you know. And you're doing this fucking podcast, man. I mean, what number podcast is this?
I think this is 58, 59, maybe 60.
Jesus, dude. And you've gotten yourself a following, man. That's nice. Does that feel good?
Yeah, I mean it definitely feels good, but what makes me feel even more gooder is knowing that I was able to capture somebody in a period of time where they were happy doing something that they loved, and they can go and listen to that whenever they want to. I could do the same, but they can as well. And when they tell me, hey, you know what, Steve, that was a lot easier than I thought, I really enjoyed that, or they share it, or they're proud of it, then that's when I get like
that's nice.
The tinglies. As far as following goes, like, yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, you want people to consume your stuff, but if one person listened to this, you and I's conversation today, great. If not, great, because I get to listen to this 60 years from now. Well, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's an audio photograph, basically.
Exactly.
And you know what, dude? I mean, like, that's a great attitude, dude. You don't want to have an attitude like you need fucking 10,000 listeners to be happy, dude. You know?
No.
You want that personal connection, I think.
Exactly. So, let's see. Do you have a favorite dojo tip? Colin Dowling asked.
Yeah. God, it's somewhere fucking in there, but it's one of the videos. I think you really need to use your legs and really be conscious of your legs. Watch how baseball players set up. Watch how they pitch. Watch how they fucking get their shoulders over their core when they release and let gravity kind of work towards them.
Right.
I've seen so many countless fucking dodgeballers who have come and fucking go over the last 20 years, you know, and it's because they fuck up their arms. Your leg muscles are bigger than your arm muscles. It's just a basic kinesiology, kinesthetic concept. And you want to combine that with the idea that you're a volcano and you want to get your body in the right position to build up your potential energy and then release it in the right order. So it's, you know, first it's trunk, then core, then arm. And you can watch the dojos, you can watch baseball players, but the mechanics, you've got to, you know, you sit down, you lay down, you visualize, you close your fucking eyes, and you imagine yourself going through the mechanics. Legs, trunk, arm, you know. And it takes a fucking while, dude. I mean, there's so many people that just fucking I've seen they're fucking sore all the time with their arm, and it's like, dude, your mechanics, you're fucking bringing your arm way the fuck back, you know, to fucking Alaska, and then you're moving your body forward first, and then you're asking your arm to fucking catch up. And there's a lot of people that's happened because a lot of people, well, the best thing about fucking dodgeball is you didn't have to play sports in high school or college to play fucking dodgeball. The worst thing about dodgeball is if you didn't play high school sports or sports in college or high school, you might be doing the wrong mechanics. So
yeah, and
that's my take.
Well, you can definitely tell like who played baseball in the past, who played football as a quarterback maybe, or who, you know, touched a spherical object in an attempt to sport before dodgeball.
Right.
And, you know, the better ones, they learn, they adapt. People are asking all kinds of questions now on the community page. People are trying to learn, which is awesome. But, yeah, you really jack yourself up if you're not doing stuff the right way. Your body's like, hey man, what are we doing here? Like my shoulder's about to separate from itself.
Yeah, and what happens is your body overcompensates in ways that slowly build up until it's too late. There was a guy that was fucking dominating like 10 years ago, young guy, huge buff, just a fucking beast, dude. Like this was before fucking elite. And he was probably the best player in LA, you know, next to Vince. And his mechanics were just shit.
Yeah.
And so what happened is he started to fucking tear things in his arm, but he kept fucking playing. And so what happened is that the muscles on the other side of his back, he was right-handed, the muscles on the left side of his back started to literally move over to the fucking right to compensate. And then eventually those went out. And when those went out, everything fucking went out. You know, it was like fucking driving on a fucking, you know, Saab turbo with the head gasket blown, you know. Eventually everything, I mean, he was fucked. He couldn't even, now he can't even fucking throw a ball with his kid, you know. And so you gotta work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. So you said that you couldn't throw a ball with his kid, because that's what I think got Tillman's to well, I mean, he said that's why he stopped playing elite, because he wants to be able to pick his kid up. And before we got into that, or maybe as a follow on, we talked about how as you get older, you get a little bit wiser and more aware of what you're doing. So you're not, you know, destroying yourself needlessly. You're a little more deliberate in your actions. So
yeah, we could totally talk about that stuff. I get some tips right now. I will say first though, yeah, I talked to Tillman's like a month ago, and we brought up that issue, and he says, you know, I could still do all the shit I do. And I saw him, he's out there doing the shit I do. I mean, the shit he does, but it takes him like a good 2-3 days to recover.
Yep.
And there's so many ways that you can recover. You have to stretch. You're a baseball player. You have to have that mindset. You got to stretch before, you know, stretch for a half hour before, stretch for a fucking half hour after. Nobody stretches after. Nobody ever does. And you're just cutting into your recovery time. You need to do, you know, cold pool, hot pool. You need to cross train, do other sports, do some fucking yoga, you know, go to the hot tub, then go to the pool. There's a ton of different things that you have to do. And the number one thing that all these activities help you with is circulation. You've got to get the blood circulating before and after and during, so all the things you fuck up can get healed and resupplied fast as possible.
That's some good advice. I don't stretch after elite, which is weird. I'm just now realizing why I don't.
You got to do it, dude.
Well, like you said, like you're just cutting into your recovery time. So
yeah, you are. It's like all the shit that nobody wants to do is the best shit for you. Like broccoli sucks to eat.
Oh, I love broccoli. I love broccoli.
Oh, well, shit.
I guess that makes up for like the fact that I don't like Jell-O. I can eat something as bland and tasteless as broccoli, but not ever want Jell-O. There it is. There's a mystery.
Dude, if you're eating broccoli at 80 and loving it, I'm gonna fucking find you and punch you in the face, dude.
I'll probably be able to take that punch. Like, is that all you got, young man?
I know, I'll be 90, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey, Elon Musk is gonna make sure that we live to 150 at least.
Oh yeah, we'll all be in fucking drones, dude, just flying around.
I'm down. Real quick, Kevin Fry, boxers or briefs?
Oh, always briefs. Although, you know, my thing is that I like to walk around naked a lot in the house, and my son's 5 now, and my wife's like, you got to stop. So I think this is the year I got to start wearing clothes.
Dang. Clothes.
So I hope that helps answer that question.
Well, and this is,
you know, then my son starts like, you know, doing stuff like, you know, he's shaking and his little penis is going up and down. And it's like, dude, no, I'm being a bad role model. So yeah, just briefs. I'm a briefs guy, man.
Brief guy. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 45, but I still have a nice ass.
It's good.
Thank you.
Gotta protect those assets.
That's right. That's right, dude.
Gotta utilize it. Colin Dowling asked, speaking of Ben, will he be making a guest appearance, I imagine, on the dojo one day?
Yeah, he's been on some dojos. Bless his heart, man. I want to expose him to all sorts of stuff. You know, if he wants to be an actor, cool. He wants to be a sports guy, you know, whatever. But these kids today, you've gotta fucking develop their personalities, because all the fucking jobs that are mechanical and repetition, they're all going to get taken over by robots. So personality is going to be a premium.
Yeah, there's talk of like, you know, this universal income, because everything that could be automated will be, and there's just going to be a point where we're kind of just twiddling our thumbs, not sure what to do. And
I think it'll be personality and communicators and people that can lead those type of jobs. I mean, of course, bio and engineering will always have their place, but I think those type of jobs will go up in value.
Yeah.
You know, if you're surrounded by artists, I mean, you're surrounded by fucking robots all day. You'll pay more money for a nice painting. You know, I think artists will also go up as well.
They'll have their moment, or not their moment, but they'll have more of a. Maybe you won't hear struggling artists so much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But still, dude, you can't be fucking lazy, man. Ain't no room for laziness. It's just you can't be focus. You got to focus on the right type of job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting 10 to 15 years. Hopefully, dodgeball is the thing that's still there to keep us through it all. I've heard people say it's going to be bleak. I heard it's going to be awesome, but as long as there's dodgeball, I'll be good. That'll be my constant rock there. But before I deviate to something crazy like philosophical stuff, what was your favorite UDC moment that Abdul Saeed asked?
Oh God, fucking Angelique Grotesque. Jesus, dude. Grossby.
That was incredible.
I don't know how I had that job for 5 years. I can't pronounce anybody's fucking name, dude. Like I don't know if they just didn't want to confront me or whatever, but who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, Angelique was fucking amazing, man. And she's like the sweetest little thing, dude. She's just a sweet, calm thing. And I think that's part of it too. I'd never seen that fire in somebody just so easygoing. Like, I mean, I've seen it, but on that stage, finals 1-on-4, that was amazing, man. That was definitely the highlight. Definitely. It's sad UDC's done. Yeah. I totally get it. You know, there's 3 reasons why UDC fucking died. The first is these fucking parks, they hated it when the dodgeballers would come in. Because not only are they losing money, but the dodgeballers would come in and everybody's I'm not trying to judge, you know, but everybody's hopped up. I'm fucking obnoxious. All the players are obnoxious. And these 18-year-olds are trying to ref these games where money's on the line. They're getting paying $7 an hour. Fuck that, dude. You know, so it wasn't a good experience for these places. And also they were putting money into it every year, you know. And I'm glad Doom won. Doom's amazing. I love Vince, the great group of guys. Love Ish. But when you're putting money, when 100 parks are putting money into something every year, you know, as a franchise, they have to contribute a certain amount of money every year, and it's the same Van Nuys that's winning. Okay, that might hurt the publicity part. I don't know. I mean, from a perspective of a park that their team never makes it, you know, forget the Doom thing for a second. If your team never makes it and you've been putting money into this thing for 5-6 years, it's kind of like, well, why am I doing it? And then also, the teams got so good, they scared off the other teams. You know what I mean? Like, it went from like 5 qualifying things. I remember when we used to qualify in Covina and they got rid of that. And then they got rid of a couple other places. And pretty soon it was just like Sacramento and Torrance, and that was it, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, it was
a great time.
Yeah.
You know?
It sucks that this is always such a problem with leagues. Like, dodgeball is so small that we don't have the capacity to have an A division and a B division and let the teams that are still trying to figure their lives out on the dodgeball court do well before they have to go and play a team like Doom. And it's just not fun if you get the crap beaten out of you constantly. You're not going to want to. You're not going to come back. Like, I would say, I used to say this. I would have this saying, something to the effect of, "Oh yeah, you know, for every 10 people that come into dodgeball, 7 are going to come back and play some open gym. 4 are going to actually want to play on a team, and 1 is going to be the one that sticks it out to go to elite." I would break it down like that, and I would use actual names and bodies as examples. And I could look at somebody like, okay, this is somebody that's going to want a piece. They want to go to elite. They want to travel. Oh, this guy's only here to play league on a seasonal basis. Could not care less if he never, won money at a dodgeball tournament. And this guy is definitely not going to come back because he sucks and he knows it and he's upset. But yeah, going back to
I hear what you're saying. So many people, though, for an absolutely amazing good reason, want to define themselves as an athlete. Yeah. I mean, it just feels important. It is important. But the great thing about dodgeball is you could fucking learn it so quick. But I digress.
Yeah. So. Well, I'll go ahead and cease that digression there because I do want to ask. Well, actually, I want to say it's kind of bittersweet that your favorite UDC highlight memory just so happens to be the last one. And I can't think of a better play or series of events to top that. So.
And the girls were so fucking amazing. Like the guys went out there and they did their thing, and we kind of, well, yeah, it was like we knew what to expect.
Yeah.
Guns blazing, and teams that had experience, they moved up and they earned their place. A little one round further or one step more. It was great cheering ABC because they had slowly built their way up into recognition. But the girls fucking played just incredible fucking teamwork, man. All the teams. And I'm not a big team player. I'm becoming more now because I'm getting fucking old. But it was really cool to see.
It was, and like it just sucks that once they get a women's division, it's over. It's like, oh man, like there was so many more. There was going to be so many more highlights and so many more teams and so many more moments that just got cut, just done.
Yeah. I think what will happen is I think some of these Sky Zones will take it upon themselves to do a tournament, but it won't be on TV again. And there won't be a super amount of prize money or something just because the overhead to fucking close down one of those places. I mean, I don't know if the dodgeballers out there realize this, but every single the operating budget was like $150,000 last year. Okay. And every single fucking Sky Zone had to put money into that. So now you want to hold a dodgeball tournament with cash, money, and more playing time and stuff like that. But you don't have the support financially of 150 franchise Sky Zones that are all contributing $1,000.
Right.
So I think there still will be Sky Zones that do it. It'll be on a smaller scale in terms of prize money. I fucking hope it happens. I'd love to go out and fucking play, so.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds.
I mean, there's some guys that are trying on Dodgeball Family, and
Yeah, I see people kind of running the numbers, and I know that their intentions are awesome, and that's kind of what we need. We need people to take matters into their own hands, and not just give up on something. So.
Yeah.
Curious to see how that works out. But Isaac Perez, do you remember this guy?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Really, really awesome close friend of mine. He asks, do you remember that tournament that Eric Jones put together in Orange County? And I guess you were dressed up as Slash. Why did you choose Slash? And do you remember that tournament? I don't think I was there, so I have no idea what that is. In fact, I know I wasn't there.
Pink hat, dude. Oh my God, he fucking remembers that shit, dude.
Dude, the kid's
Jesus, dude. Yeah, I wore a big purple hat. It was like my first year dating my future wife, and I was actually wait a sec. She moved in after 3 weeks. We actually got married after 9 months, so we were married at the time. And I don't know if any of you dodgeballers out there have been in this position, but I was taking my wife to these dodgeball things. And I was trying to be like, hey, babe, look what I can do. I'm a fucking athlete, dude. I can throw things and catch things. And you get to see my muscles, and other people get to see my muscles.
But they're for you.
Maybe you'll want to sleep with me later, because of that. So it's funny. I've seen a lot of dodgeball relationships come and go. I know some people have gotten married and had babies. I remember fucking Erica Day brought, who's the chick in American Pie? The foreign exchange student. The one that takes her clothes off. She became famous. Oh, God. Anyway, so she was like a major star and all that. So beside the point, he brought her to, Ade was a pimp, okay? I mean, the guy was getting women everywhere. He's always gotten women. He's just a chick magnet, you know? But he actually convinced this girl to come to Dodgeball. Oh, Shannon something. Anyway.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yes. And so we're down at Point City Rec Center, and American Pie had, come out a couple years before, and she was in 13 Ghosts. So, I mean, she was a total pinup girl. I'm not trying to be misogynistic here. I'm just stating the facts. As a girl, she was a sex symbol. There you go.
Sure.
So he brings her, and we're all playing dodgeball, and I'm just going, dude, you got Shannon Elizabeth sitting here watching dodgeball. Like, I wouldn't have taken her to dodgeball, if I was trying to be smoother. Of course, I'm not, so I guess maybe I would have taken her to dodgeball. But I thought that was a trip. Have you ever taken a girl to watch you play dodgeball?
No, kind of. I mean, I've only dated girls that already played dodgeball, with the exception of one who came to Vegas to visit me. And then, if it wasn't Vegas, I would not have invited her to come watch me play dodgeball, because that's not where I want to be seen strutting around and showing off. First of all, I don't even do that. Secondly, yeah. Short answer, no. I've not done that yet. Don't plan to.
Yeah, you're so serious on the court. She would have been like, oh, okay, this guy's a psycho. Oh.
He doesn't
he
smile.
Keeps everything bottled up like a postman.
Actually, so it's funny because dodgeball is my outlet. I do whatever I do, bottle up. I throw it out on the court, and I walk away laughing and smiling. And you may look at me, and I may look stoic and serious as crap, but mentally I'm in La La Land. You might as well listen to Benny Hill music playing. Like, I'm just just not.
Well, I've never seen you mad, so that makes sense, because I've never seen you pissed off before in 10 years of this stuff. It
would have to take an awful lot to get me mad or angry to the point where I'm melting down. Yeah, I don't even know what it's like for me to be mad. Irritated, yeah. Irritable, a little frustrated, sure. But I really try my best not to take out my anger on anybody. I'm one of those, like, I will be mad at the right person at the right time for the right reason, or not at all. I'll shrug it off. So
Okay.
Real quick, because I thought this was hilarious. I don't know if you saw the exchange, but Devin McManus asked funniest dodgeball road trip story, and I said, "You fool, what are you doing?" And then Sergio Leone said he just wants to watch the world burn, and Devin responded with this gif of Elmo shrouded in fire, just saying, "Bring it on." But
I got a good one.
Yeah,
I got a good one if you want.
What do you got?
All right, this was actually a trip to Arizona. And we stayed at Sam. What's Sam's last name? He used to run Phoenix Dodgeball.
He used to run AZ Dodgeball. Sam Pewitt.
Yeah, Sam Pewitt. Thank you. Sorry.
No, if I don't make that correction, people will kill me here. So
yeah, I figure there's a little, Hatfields versus McCoys over there.
That's it. Yeah.
So we had arrived at Sam Pewitt's place, and Ish loves to drink like me. God bless him. Fucking love him. He was going off on about Vita Coco, some liquid nectar. But anyway, it was like 2:30 in the morning, and he comes in drinking, and I'm laying there down. It was pretty packed, the place, so we're pretty close to the front door. We're laying down, some sleeping bags and stuff. And Ish unzips his pants, and he just starts peeing all over Nate. And he's just peeing away. You can hear the little you know, in the urine, just soaking through all of Nate's clothes. You know, he didn't hit him in the face yet, you know.
Yet.
And so I wake up because I hear the little pitter patter, you know. And I look at Ish, and, you know, Ish is like 20 years younger than me. So I'm like, well, how do I talk to these kind of people? So I just looked at him. I says, Ish, no, Ish, no, go outside. And so Ish just turned around. The stream kind of, you know, turns in the wind. And he just went back outside. So I don't know where he ended up. Okay. So next morning, like 6 and 7 in the morning, everybody's waking up. And Nate's like waking up, and you can, you know, he's like sniffing like a bear, you know, like in a picnic basket, you know. And he's like, what's all this liquid on me, right? And I says, Ish peed on you. So
you just say it like that, matter of fact. Oh yeah, Ish peed on you.
Yeah, Ish peed all over you. So that was great, and he couldn't believe it, dude. He couldn't believe it.
But
you know, they're best friends, so I don't think it. I'm sure this story's been told many times, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what happens in Arizona gets repeated and told and podcasted about, I guess. Yeah, these road trips that we go on. I mean, us going to San Diego, LA, Vegas. You guys come down to Phoenix. I mean, there's so many wonderful moments that dodgeball has produced that exist outside of the court. Getting there, coming back, there's just so much there. And I think somebody else mentioned something about like that same tournament or that same trip in the OG chat. So there's clearly a lot of stuff there, but I'd find that be hard to forget. So,
well, I'll tell you something. Speaking of the OG stuff, I know, you know, Doom broke up and Vince picked up a nice team. He's just an amazing. Vince is, you know what, he's a great player, but he's also an amazing leader. I think he has a very subtle methodology to everything, and so I'm glad he's still on a dominant team. He deserves to be, quite frankly. Some of the Doom players are not going to do the 8.5. I think the rubber ball is the first to go. I could still throw the foam just as fast and the no sting. And, you know, I could throw the rubber for a while just as fast, but not as much. You know, it's a baseball player. You know, you don't get so many pitches, and the pitch count goes down as you get older.
Yeah.
I think rubber is definitely the first to go. And but you got to play it as long as you can. I mean, we'll be fucking 60 playing this shit. You know we will. So
we'll see. I mean, was it you, myself, Jim, a few other people I think have Rob Immel, we all have like this suicide pact where we're just going to keep playing and just looking at the other person to not quit and just see how long we can go. Joe Colella says he'll play until the wheels come off, and
that's good.
Yeah, we'll just keep pushing it.
Because we're all going to fucking end up in wheelchairs anyway. So, you know, who gives a fuck? You might as well just enjoy it as much as you can before the wheelchair comes.
Yep. Enjoy as much as you can while you can.
Yeah. I don't mean to digress on this. We're all going to die, you know, fucking thing. But
yeah, I mean, it's a reality, and it's a good outlook. I mean, it really is, because you can't take anything for granted. And to bring up Rob again, when I asked him what's your favorite dodgeball memory, or what are you looking forward to the most, and he just says the next game, whether it's open gym, league,
great,
tournament,
dude.
And that's such a great outlook, because you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be able to play next week because who knows. But anytime you take that court, it's not to get all religious, but it's a blessing. It's a
yep, I agree.
It's a gift.
I agree.
I'm gonna skip this question, but I did want to mention it just because he asked. Dominic Borgia asked, "How has dodgeball changed since you first started?" And I mean, I would just say that can open up a whole nother hour of talking. So
yeah,
I would say
I think one thing that's changed is that women play a lot more now, and women are leaders now. You know, it was male dominated at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now you got to respect the women just as much as the men. So.
Who's he talking to?
That's all I'll say on that.
I forgot who I was talking to. Maybe it was Colin. But there was a time when, like, the only way you can get a co-ed team is if you drug your girlfriend out there or your wife.
Yeah.
And they want nothing to do with it. They're like, I don't want to play. Just I'm going to throw myself out or step out of bounds. But now it's, I mean, you got some pretty amazing, phenomenal female athletes.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what's changed, dude, is as women have become better, dude. Fuck, dude. Well, no, you know what? This is me being an asshole because, first 10 years of playing, I was fucking headshotting everybody, and like girls would get so, but dude, I couldn't go a fucking day without a girl getting fucking pissed at me, and I get it. And it wasn't like I was doing it on purpose. It's just I was fucking drunk and just didn't give a fuck about anybody. But I'll tell you something, man. I think over the last 5 years, guys have learned not to be dicks and purposely headshot women. And women on their part, if they fucking get lit up in the face, they don't get fucking super pissed, when everybody was just starting out.
Yeah.
So I think it's become more mature on both ends,
It's a good observation, and you're right. At least the better guys don't intentionally go for the face, at least in a recreational setting. If you're one of those guys that likes to hit people in the face in a recreational setting, I mean, you're just a douche. But when it comes to like elite, sure, go crazy. But I definitely feel more of a maturity.
Because there was a lot more bitching. 5 years ago, there was a lot more drama. I think there's a lot less drama now. I think the drama more is now about people jumping and leaving teams and all that shit. It's like, whatever.
So you're locked down in a salary. You can go wherever you want. Like, it's not. We're still here to have fun, and
right.
Some people put an emphasis on winning. Some people want to play with their friends. Some people want in between. Whatever.
Yep.
It keeps the jersey designers and printers busy. So I'm sure they're happy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the rub. Yep. So there you go.
All right. So this might be a different segue here. And I kind of talked to you about it previously, and I think this is a good way to bring it up. But Sergio said, not Sergio Leone, not a question, but wanted to thank you for being having such a huge impact on me early on, and toast to another 9 years. So I think you said 60, so at least 20, 30 years still. But let's talk about impact. And the way I wanted to do that was, so you're one of those people that have always struck me as just out there, wild, happy, just nonstop fun, for lack of better words, right? Just a great outlook. But one thing, and we can, if you still want to talk about it, you posted. Oh yeah, something.
No, I do definitely.
Yeah, you posted something that really kind of triggered, not a red flag, but you posted something that was just very not Dave Benedetto. Like, you would not expect that, and that was you. I think you just were going through a slump, or do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was. First I'll say, thank you, Sergio. I appreciate that. I like to share my path from depression to success to anybody that wants to listen, because there are more people now than ever, because of our culture, because of our food, because of our lifestyle, because the way we're programmed and raised and conditioned to run a roller coaster. And to run a steeper and steeper roller coaster. And as a result, there's more people out there that are depressed than ever before. I know for me, my mom was she was a manic depressant. God bless her. She passed last year. She was a heavy manic depressant. They had given her electroshock treatment when she was 16 all the way to 18. And it definitely had a lasting effect.
Oh, wow.
My mom was an amazing woman. I'll preface it with that. She loved me unconditionally. One of the few people that, and if you're fortunate enough to have people in your life that love you unconditionally, hold on to them, because she was definitely one of those people. She would go into bouts of happiness for 6 months and then just stay in her room for 6 months for like 20 hours a day. So the thing about manic depression is, when manic depression is a part of your life. And I'll also just say now that I definitely solved all that stuff. And so I'm getting to a solution for some people here, or at least a path, some practicality. But let me just start with the actual issue of depression itself. People that get depressed chemically, and that's what we're talking about here, your serotonin levels that force you into things like ruminations, where you get thoughts and you can't get rid of them, anxiety, your body just taking control of your mind, taking control of your body, you're not wanting to leave the house, stuff like that. When you get into those situations, I know for myself, I was constantly craving some type of high to counter that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you know, if I went and stole something, you know, because there was definitely a period where I was, you know, taking things that weren't mine. You get a rush from it, and it eliminates that depression. It's like a temporary fix. Got into gambling. Fortunately, one of my tenants, you know, I was doing bookie with him, got into about 10 grand, but, you know, he was a tenant in one of my properties, and he let me off with like 2 grand. Great guy, one of my best friends. But the gambling was trying to combat that. And then there was drinking. You know, I mean, I'm a functioning alcoholic. I'm buying my 3rd property now, make over 100K. Good father, good teacher. I get paid to teach teachers, make about 150 an hour. So, you know, and I have good, healthy, you know, besides all that bragging about monetary shit, I have good, healthy relationships with people, you know, 20 years at one school, 10 years marriage. So my point is that I'm a consistent person. Sorry, my battery thing just said it's kind of low, but let me just go into this here. So I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, I just wanted to just kill myself. I was ready to just die. I felt there was no reason to live, because the medication I was taking it stopped working. I've been taking citalopram since I was 24, and it worked for a good 10 years, 15 years. And so, and also I thought I could try to get off the medication, and that's just it. What it is, practically speaking, in terms of practicality, is it's a combination of things. You got to have good friends around you. You got to live in the moment. You got to take the right medication. A lot of people are like, no, I don't want to take medication. You need to see a psychiatrist and see what they say, because sometimes it's simple as just like, I take citalopram and I take 10 milligrams, and there's 1 milligram, it's 1,000 milligrams to a gram, and 27 grams in an ounce. So we're talking like just little specks of dust, but it's totally made my life fantastic. I get maybe 1 depressing thought a week, whereas I used to get like 10 ruminations a day, and it's just debilitating. And people that are listening to this right now, I'm sure there's definitely a percentage of people out there that can relate to this, that go, yeah, I've been in that situation before. I'd say message me, I'd say just right now, just, go see a doctor and let them prescribe. There's so many fucking medications out there that, then that was my thing is that I had citalopram, and then I turned on X-citalopram, and it's been going great since the last 5 years. I mean, there's a lot of great people that have families and have kids, and they want to have good relationships. You don't want something like depression to ruin that. I mean, every minute you're depressed, it takes away from your life. Now, there's definitely depressions like you don't get a job, or you fucking lost a game and shit like that. But obviously that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I appreciate, Sergio, that I can be a role model for you. I'm always here if you need to talk. I've had people that have got on medication I've talked to, and they're great. I've had people that just try to go at it at their own, And I've just watched them slowly fucking dissipate into just self-absorption and lack of success, and however you want to define success, you know, but basically they're just become a fucking vegetable. So everybody, you got to have a plan, you know?
Well, I think the first step is what you said. You see somebody. I mean, there's such and we get this beaten into our heads. Thank goodness. And I mean this in a totally good way. We get this beaten into our heads in the military. There's such a stigma about saying, I'm depressed, I need help, I'm having ideations of suicide. But you're supposed to talk to somebody, and the resources are out there to help combat that. But you just have to get over this idea that you're weak.
Stigma.
Yeah, you have to get over this idea that you're weak if you do so, or you're not a fully functional human being. It's kind of like how you prefaced this earlier. Like, there's so many things now in our diet, in our lifestyle.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's bad, and it's
it's fucking, dude. I mean, you know, the whole body is all about fucking circulation. You know, I mean, we're just batteries with fucking hair. You know, when we have thoughts, it's electrically circulated through our body through synapses. When we fucking work out, we have blood circulate through our body. You know, our food circulates through our body. Well, okay, we shit it out. It's not a circle, but you get the point.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. And the point is that once you start to reflect on that and address it, and you ask the right questions, like, hey, how is circulation fucking different now than it was 30 years ago? They didn't have any fucking artificial things in food. They didn't have processed food, you know, not to the extent that they do now. They didn't have traffic like we do now. They didn't have, you know, people leaving their job at an average of 2.8 years. You know, it's this high, fast food, fast lifestyle, fast way of living that not only all conditioned to live in, but also that we define now. Our society defines now as being successful, you know?
Yeah.
And even fucking Facebook and stuff makes you more just fucking ADD and Twitch. And if you're going to be that way and you become what you practice, and you're going to practice being fucking ADD, guess what? You're going to get depressed, because all of this stuff takes you on a roller coaster. You know, all this fucking stimuli and stimulus and tight schedules and meeting with this many people. So,
yeah, and it's all superficial too. I mean, I'm not definitely, I know I'm part of this, but like I'll stare at my phone and I'll maybe pay too much attention to them supposed to, or I'll look at, oh man, my weekend is so lame compared to the Johnsons who, you know, went skiing in the Alps and their life is so much better than mine. And just that, even that alone, like there's just so much that the mind that we're just not equipped to process and handle right now. And it's, I mean, if you look back at what the last, I don't know, several thousand years, like we just didn't evolve to be like this. And so to have something, for lack of better words, just not fire correctly or impede on how the brain is supposed to operate, it's not
right. I don't mean to interrupt, but you're absolutely right. When you say impede on how the brain, I'm going to take your words, impede on how the brain is supposed to operate. I'm going to take that and present an analogy. Over the last 10 years, every 6 months, we go to Fry's, we buy the latest computer because the RAM speed, the CPU has doubled in speed. Well, guess what? In the last 10 fucking years, our CPUs don't double every 6 months. Our fucking RAM doesn't double every 6 months. And so the body has got to deal with that stress. And the way it deals with stress is it goes up and gets excited to deal with all that stimuli that's around us. But then as a consequence, it's going to take you down. So I think just to be aware of that stuff, you know, I am so much fucking happier every single day because the medication, being in the moment, recognizing when I get excited that I'm going to need a little chill time, talking to people more. And of course, my son, you know, my son puts things in perspective. He did a drawing a while ago, and I spend a lot of time with my son, more than anybody else, every day. But even sometimes, even with that, I spend too much time on the computer. He drew a family portrait, and it was him sitting with mommy, on one side, and then daddy in the other room on the computer. And I was like, fuck. Okay, I get it. You know? So it's like, even so I spend like a couple hours a day with him, he wanted more time. So we got to be conscious of what technology has done to us and forced us to become.
Yeah, we just got to pay attention to what's around us and how people perceive us, I guess. And I guess what I'm trying to say, like, what we could be missing out on and not thinking about. Because, again, it's so easy to get caught up in our toys or electronic devices. But that's pretty profound, man, that Ben drew that picture that way. And that's a good, like, I don't say like reality check, but
definitely a reality check, dude. Yeah, kids remind us what we're supposed to be, I think.
That's profound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really taken aback when I read that comment several years ago, because you would just, and this is another thing too, is like, and I don't know if you posted this, but it does circulate where it shows a bunch of really happy people, like Robin Williams, basically everyone that's unfortunately committed suicide, and they're smiling, and you just be like, man, Robin Williams is such a funny guy who's always happy. But that could also just be the complete opposite when they're on their own. And unfortunately, they never were able to overcome that, because it's not the people that you would expect to just, you know,
right.
to do it.
Robin Williams discovered that he had a talent. And Robin Williams knew that getting people to laugh, that was a euphoric drug that temporarily kind of put to the side, it masked, if you will, it made his depression disappear. And I'm sure Robin Williams was smart enough to realize that when you're going to run that CPU as quick as he did, and God, he was fucking quick. When you're going to force the computer to run at double speed, it's going to need more time to recover. So I think he's a great example.
Yeah, and it's because I think, like, you know, Chris Cornell was in there. Like it's pretty popular. It's not a meme, but it's just it's a good reminder that you have no idea what people are going through, and just because somebody is happy or presents the picture that they're constantly happy or that they have a complete life may not necessarily be the case. And the only thing I'm trying to say when I bring that up is, again, going back to when I heard or read you talking about, you know, your thoughts of suicide. I was like, I would never have suspected that. But you have to be able to just kind of look past that and be like, okay, this person is crying for help. Let's see how we can help them out. Like how can we be there for them? And just,
yeah, if I didn't have a wife and a kid, you know, I would have figured something out, maybe. You know, I mean, I was definitely like, I was just like, you know, I was like, dude, I don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
So,
well, for what it's worth, man, I'm glad you didn't do it, because you would have, Dodgeball Community would have lost a really awesome, bright star, I think. You make a lot of people happy, as kind of expressed in these comments, and Sergio really hit it on the head, where you have a lot of impact on people. You probably
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Stephen. It's nice to be loved. Sergio is he's a really creative guy, and he's got a great personality. Sometimes I'm sure that depression gets a hold a little bit, and he can't, you know, just shine and be himself. And, you know, I've been there. I know what that's like, but it's always good to see him, man. You know, he's a sincere, genuine person, and I feel that whenever I see him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I feel that way about a lot of people I see at Dodgeball, and it's just it continues to be the gift that keeps on giving, because we get to meet people like yourself, like Sergio, and we just get to experience a different world that most people never have or never will be able to, just because we play a really weird game where we throw shit at each other. So, yeah,
I hear you. And I'll just say one last thing: if you do feel that you have a pattern of depression, just please message me, man. Please, I'd love to talk to you. You know, and you know, just listen. You know, if you don't want any advice.
Yeah. Sometimes that could be all people need, is just for someone to give a crap and listen, and that could be huge.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
I agree. I definitely agree. It's therapeutic, man.
Well, man, I appreciate you you going down that road, but let's see if we can get this back on a high note before we take off, because we're reaching past that 2-hour mark. And let me scroll up, make sure I got all the questions, but I do want a lighter tone before we step off here.
Okay.
I guess I could just do with this one. What is the one thing you're looking forward to the most this year for 2019? I mean, you got FSU going. You're going to come down to Phoenix. You might be able to face off against the Doom Train. But is there anything that you're looking forward to the most so far, considering we're just kind of itching into February?
It's real simple for me. Just continuing to destroy 20-year-olds. And that there's nothing a bigger rush for me to destroy 20-year-olds, to coach 20-year-olds, not to sleep with 20-year-olds. I'm married now. But these young kids, man, just fucking being around these young kids, dude, it feels so fucking good, dude. It really does. It just makes me feel young.
Yep.
Gives me purpose. I love to fucking coach, you know, and make if FSU gets to be the biggest in fucking California, I'm fucking whatever, dude. I'm down. You know, if it ends in next week, that's fine. But I'm gonna give it 100%, and I hope it grows.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. All right, well, we'll go ahead and we'll end the interview there. Alrighty, so that was Dave Benedetto. Dave, thanks so much, man, for being flexible, for hopping on and giving me 2 hours of your time. I could have very easily gone into the 3rd and 4th hour. I can do that with just about anybody, but you especially. There was so much stuff I wanted to dig more on. And we'll probably have to revisit some conversations and really get into the good old days of the pre-elite days, the barnstorming days, as we've discussed in the OG panels and whatnot. And as far as basically how the conversation went, I'm sorry about the the swear words. This is definitely one where I can't edit this. It's gonna take too long, and I do want to make my timeline for Nick to get this done on Friday. So there will be an edited version at some point. Hopefully, though, we don't need that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Want to real quickly pivot to the whole conversation about depression. If you are suffering from it in any aspects, from mild to severe, please just see somebody or talk to somebody, reach out, understand that it's not who you are as a person, and just seek treatment. Just get over the stigma of appearing weak or of appearing broken. Coming from somebody that experiences it myself, I definitely want to just advise anybody to just do what you can about it. There's a lot of resources out there, and there's no need to suffer in silence. Moving back to the podcast, again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you for your constant support. I'm starting to get recommendations of people that they want to see on the episode for future interviews, so I'm definitely going to start moving on those. And yeah, sorry about all the cussing, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. And have a great, as always, great Friday evening, great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Ben, hold on. Yeah, the remote is on my exercycle. You're welcome, son. Eat your vegetables.
Good advice.